Hello everyone and welcome back to the Belgian Beer Brothers channel. Cedric here in Antwerp with yet another brew review, and today we are having something rather special for several reasons. We are having the Zundert 10 2025, and why is this special? Well, of course, first off, because Zundert is no longer a live Trappist brewery. Unfortunately, the end of 2025, they were so short on monks that they had to stop brewing, which is a fate that is shared by many monasteries, many breweries. Unfortunately, now luckily we still have Mont-des-Quatre that joined the Trappists, but we are losing, unfortunately, more Trappist locations than we are gaining. That being said, another reason why this is special is this is one of their last specialty beers, and this is a beer that they actually, well, they already had the Zundert 10, but they already brewed this in 2023 to celebrate their 10th anniversary. They rebrewed this, be it a bit tweaked, for 2025 as a holiday beer. Now, a last reason why this is special, in brackets, is that despite being a relatively rare beer, I picked this up at the supermarket, and that is Belgium in one sentence. This is a very rare beer, a very lovely beer, I am told. I still have to taste it. An ATP, Authentic Trappist product. And I just got this at the supermarket. My eye fell on this one because of the beautiful bottle, of course. This has the 10, because it's a 10%er. Now, don't be fooled. Westvleteren 12, St. Bernardus Abt 12. Those are all around 10%, not 12. So this is a very, very classic Abbey or Trappist beer. It is dark. It has a dark bottle, but it has this nice purple plant on it. What is this plant, you might ask? Because this sure as hell isn't hop. This is geel. Jagel in Dutch. They brewed this with geel, and they used the geel as a tribute as well. And of course it says 2025 because this was their holiday beer, but it only reached me a few weeks ago. Okay, live translation. In honor of the holidays, Trappist brewery De Kievit, which is a bird that is also depicted right here, lovely bird by the way, this special bottle of Zundert 10 quadruple Trappist. We brew our beer with attention and calmness within the walls of the Abbey to enjoy the small and beautiful things in life. The picture of the geel plant on this bottle is inspired by the work of artist Anne Gene, a Dutch artist, made for the 10-year anniversary of the brewery. Geel grows around the Abbey Maria Toevlucht, and it's one of the taste makers of this beer. That way you can literally taste a bit of the lovely environment that we call home. That is a nice thought. Ingredients: water, malted barley, sugar, hops, spices and yeast. And as I already said, this is a 10% ABV quadruple. I am just as curious as you guys are. If I recall well, Paul, you have one of these at home as well. So I suggest maybe you want to open it and taste together. Let me know what you thought of this beer afterwards. I will let you know in about 6 to 8 minutes. First off, beautiful bottle, but plain muselet. Secondly, again, plain cork. And honestly, I think this is a natural cork, not a synthetic one. Smells sweet, but good as well. Now, there is another reason why this beer is special to me, and that is a very silly reason, but I collect glasses, beer glasses, and not so long ago I acquired this lovely Zundert glass. Now, this is a large glass, but looking at this shape, curved inward, this is in fact a tasting glass, be it a large one, with the lovely Zundert logo here, Zundert Trappist with the golden ornaments. And I thought I acquired this glass just before the brewery had announced their demise. So I honestly thought I could never use this again because they were stopping the brewing. Look at this. So I am gonna use this glass one more time at least with the beer that it is intended for. And there we go. Perfect 33 pour. Of course, I was cheating, so it's easy that way. Okay, first off, beautiful. This is a very, very deep red from close by. Of course, from afar, this is pitch black. Nice bubbles, tiny miniature bubbles that seem to feed the head of foam, which is also nice and dense, medium to small bubbles. It's not really smooth, but it is creamy on the top. And following the color of the beer, this would be suspicious if it had white foam. So this is off-white if you're optimistic, but this is basically beige or light brown even. Oh, that is a interesting but weird scent. This aroma is all over the place, and there is a perfectly good explanation for this, but we are not used to this. Even I, as a, let's say, well-trained taster and brewer, I am not used to beers like this. So the first thing you get is sugar, candied sugar. And then the next thing is carbon dioxide. But of course, not necessarily as a taster, but as a brewer, you are absolutely trained to recognize carbon dioxide, because it's a matter of life and death. If you're in a cellar filled with carbon dioxide, you're not coming out of there. I do get a bit of candy, a bit of flowers, and then of course that herbal component, but they already mentioned, as is on the bottle, gale. Gale is herbal, but it's not like sage or basil, or it's not that outspoken, it's not that straightforward. Gale is a bit more subtle. But it is nice. So this has a rather wide range of aromas. Quite complex. Although the candied sugar is rather dominant in the nose. Unfortunately, because that is my least favorite smell in beers. Or one of my least favorite regular smell. We're not talking about sulfur, rotten eggs, diacetyl. We are talking about regular scents. Okay, let's have a taste. Cheers, you guys. Oh wow. Ooh, this does not taste like it smells at all. There is so much going on here. I have to break this down. initial sip, and that is a combination of the air entering the mouth, but also the retronasal reflex. A lot of candied sugar, but that is before the fluid hit my tongue. Immediately thereafter, I was surprised, pleasantly surprised. Because at first I got a lot of... It's drier? Yeah, drier, well, actually dry. It has a lot of roasted malt, apparently. So a lot of roasty flavors, and even a bit smoked. And on the herbal side, I do get a bit of sage. I don't know if they added it. They just say herbs and spices. But I would say there's a bit of sage in there just to accompany the gale. So the main event here is roasted malt. I would even dare to go out on a limb and say peated. Slightly peated, at least smoky or smoked. And then gale and a bit of sage maybe. And all that candied sugar that is really heavy in the nose is practically gone in the flavor. Now I am very curious to find out how they brewed this, because with this much sugar in the nose and this dryness in the flavor, I would say 10% ABV, maybe 22-ish degrees Plato, boiling down to 10% and then having a leftover sugar of 1.5, 2, maybe 2.5 degrees Plato. So not sweet at all, but it's absolutely lovely. I am actually really pleasantly surprised. When seeing this bottle, I expected a fantastic beer. When smelling this beer, I thought, probably not my cup of tea. But now, after that first sip, I've been talking for like a minute straight. So it's extremely interesting and complex. So we need that second sip, and probably that fifth and that eighth sip as well. Just to make sure that we are good tasters. Yeah, and despite this not tasting like 10%, it is still quite boozy. By that I mean, I do feel the warming vapor of the alcohol, but it's not aggressive. And I do think that this is roasted malt used absolutely right. This actually reminds me a bit of Schlenkerla as well, because of the smokiness. And I'm not saying they purposefully used smoked malt, but I do get a bit of smoke in that flavor. So it is a shame to see this go to waste as the brewery ceases to exist. Alas. The after flavor is very, very interesting as well. There is next to no sugar in the aftertaste, but I do get that roasted flavor and that smoky flavor that keeps coming back. Really lingers. So these monks have done something really, really nice with this beer. Okay, how to score this? At least a 4.25. I think the only reason why I'm not going 4.5 on this one is the mere idea that if I'm in a bar and I'm having one of these, like in all the time I've been talking, we only dropped 1 centimeter. That is not a lot, and normally I'm a rather quick drinker. So I absolutely love this, but I'm not sure I would order a second one, because it is a lot and it's complex and it's heavy. For me, this is a beer to savor, a beer to enjoy, absolutely every drop of it, but also a beer to taste. So I think 1 is alright, is fantastic even, but a second one, on a tasting maybe afterwards, in a bar not so much. So I would call this a 4.25, a potential 4.5 even, but somewhere in that region. Very pleasant surprise. I think I needed that. Okay, guys, that all being said, I'm gonna need my time to empty this glass. I'm gonna share this bottle with some friends of mine, either tonight or tomorrow. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you like this video, hit the thumbs up, leave a comment down below. If you have any remarks, questions, my credentials are in the description. You can email me all you want. If you want to visit me here, if you want to tour the brewery, if you have any suggestions, let me know. If you want to see more, subscribe and hit the bell icon so you'll get notified whenever I upload something. And I will see you guys again in the next video. If you can't get enough, you might want to support me, and you can do so by visiting the Patreon page or just sharing videos with friends. There are over 430 Belgian Beer Brothers subscribers right now. We could do with a few more. Let's be friends. Until the next video. Cheers, you guys.